people nowadays are very busy. We have our work, we have families, we have friends, we have all kinds of responsibilities. I mean, we have our legitimate demands on our time, like the work, the children, the parents, all of that. And we also have a little bit of time that we waste when our scrolling, our endless back-to-back Netflix watching, all of that. So it doesn't matter how we spend our day is completely chock-block packed. And then there could be a lot of things that we would want to do also. I know that I would like to read. However, with all my responsibilities, with all the time that I spend doing other things, with my busy life, and because of a lot of endless doom scrolling, I find that I don't read at all. And even if I do pick up a book, in 2 minutes, I'm looking at my phone and looking at what to read, what's happening in the world. I start off by justifying myself by looking at the news, because I feel that reading about the news is, it's okay, while looking at Facebook and Instagram is not okay. But then I don't know how it is. I don't know whether my fingers have a life of their own. I'll start off by reading the news, but I'll end up scrolling and looking at fashion and looking at makeup and looking at travel holiday destinations on Reels. So that is the case for all of us. And then how, in this busy world, how do we spend focused time doing something? How do we set goals? How do we develop hobbies? How do we do things that we should, like say, spend time with our children? In this busy lives, how do we make time for things that matter to us? And that is what we're going to look in the next couple of minutes. When we talk about goal setting, it is very important that we set SMART goals. So I'm not very sure whether you are familiar with the acronym SMART. If you want to read more about it, we have an article on our website. But to give you a very brief summary about it, SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound goal. So, for example, my goal of wanting to read more. So, if I tell myself that I want to read more and I'm going to read more, it's not going to, take me anywhere. I'll have this vague goal of wanting to read more in my head, which doesn't translate into action. However, making it into a SMART goal would mean that I would say, I will read a book in 2 weeks. And I will take this particular book which has 150 pages. And because it has 150 pages and it is approximately 10 pages a day. So 15 days, 10 pages a day, I will finish this book in 2 weeks, 15 days. So what that means is that it's very specific. I will read 10 pages a day. It's measurable. I can see that I've read 10 pages a day. It is attainable. 10 pages is not too difficult to read. I can read 10 pages in, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know my reading speed, but it's not like saying I will read 100 pages a day. 10 pages is very attainable. It is relevant because it's reading more is something that I've been wanting to do. So it's a goal that makes sense to me. It's a goal that it's a lifestyle habit that I want to add to my life. So that is, it's a very relevant goal. And finally, it's time bound. So I will finish reading the book in 15 days, and every day I can check. If someday I'm just exhausted, I cannot at all read. I just want to sleep and I don't want to do anything else. That's fine. It'll extend by a day, and I know how much I've done, how much I can do. So that is a SMART goal. And it's very important that when we are looking at changing things in our life, when we are looking at adding more to our life, when we're looking at juggling responsibilities, we have very specific SMART goals set in our mind that we can attain. So any goal that you might have, you can apply the same principles to it, and you can make it very specific. You can make it very attainable. You can make it measurable. You can make it relevant and time bound. And how do you do that? Let's take some examples. For example, one of my clients had a small child, had a 4-year-old daughter, and the daughter was pretty much growing up as a result of time passing by. And the mother felt that no matter, the mother was there, was taking care of her, was providing safety and nutrition and all of that, but the mother did not have time to actually spend time with her, quality time with her, teach her skills, and the mother really wanted her to be more involved in the daughter's life. And so what we came up with is one of the things that she started off. And remember, always start small. Don't try and climb Mount Everest in one day. Start by going for a small walk. And that in this case, it was, we said let's spend 30 minutes every day reading to her. So it was very good reading skill, because it was good for her, because she wanted her daughter to be able to, get a head start on reading. It was a life skill that she wanted her daughter to have. So all of that was good. So it was starting by 30 minutes every day. So 30 minutes before bedtime, she would, so the entire 30 minutes wouldn't be reading, because there'd be a little bit of cuddling and there'll be a little bit of conversation about what is in the book. So the actual reading was for perhaps about 15 minutes, but with a little time before and after to, talk about the book and talk about what they read and all of that. So it was 15 minutes. She bought herself some age appropriate books. She was reading, and she had very specific goals that in 6 months that the daughter will be able to identify and read small words. And by 5, the daughter was 4 when this started, and by 5 she would be able to read a small storybook with simple words by herself. And that was a goal, and she set the goal. It was she stuck to it, and she attained her goal. So whatever your goal might be it to spend more time with your children, or even self-care. If you want to do things for yourself, like for example, you want to start working out, start small. Don't do great things that like I said, climb Mount Everest in the first go. You will not be able to, and you will give up. However, how can you start small? You can go for a walk every day. You can set an alarm and go for a walk. One of the strategies that I recently read about sticking to an exercise routine is to have something very exciting that you listen to. It could be a podcast, it could be an audiobook, but something that you listen to only while you are exercising. So those get enmeshed together, and I'm trying that. I'm reading I'm listening to the Harry Potter books read out by Stephen Fry. If anybody's tried that, it's amazing. Stephen Fry is an amazing orator, and he reads those Harry Potter books very well. So even though I've read the Harry Potter books myself in my youth, it is lovely to hear Stephen Fry's version. So what I do is I read it only when I go running, and I used to love running at one point, but now I'm not particularly keen on running. My knees are hurting, my body is hurting, I'm old. But what I do is I still go running, and I listen to those Harry Potter audiobooks only when I run. So have specific goals, have something that will excite you about that goal, and stick to it. Habit is formed only when you stick to it. You have to keep at it. There'll be days when you don't feel like going, and that's fine. If you miss a day, that is okay. You want to read to your daughter every day, but some days she's just too cranky, or some days you are just too cranky. It doesn't matter. There will be failings. There will be days when you cannot. There will be missed days for anything that you do. But what matters is that the next day you get up and you do it again. If I don't feel like running one day, I don't. If my body is just too tired, that's fine. But the next day I will get up and go. Be it running, be it self-care, be it your exercise, be it reading, it's fine. Life gets in the way. Life doesn't go as we predict it. But get back and do it. And don't get disappointed. Don't get disheartened when there are missed days. Tell yourself that it is part of the routine. What matters is that you keep at it. And if you keep at it long enough, you will realize that it does become a part of your routine. If you want to read for half an hour every day, keep at it. And finally, you will reach a stage where you won't feel sleepy till you read. If you want to play with your children, have 1 hour of board games every weekend, do that. And that'll soon, you might meet with resistance in the beginning, depending on the age of your children, or it might be boring, or it might find time for you to get into a groove. But once you do, you will get there. So no matter what your goal is, when you're juggling so many things, make the goal a smart one so that it is realistic, and keep at it. Persevere. That's all that matters.